Good morning. It's tomorrow, Thursday the 23rd. Got a late start tonight because we had a little trip to the emergency room last night about midnight. Didn't get out till about 6 a.m. So I got about a 4-hour nap and now I'm back at it. What I'm doing right now is cutting in windows on either side. I'm just doing plunge cuts there and then finishing it off with a jigsaw. On the front, I don't know if you can see the lines there. That's going to be plunge cut out and going to hinge that for a muck out door. Still got to fix the entry door. And over here, do another plunge cut for more ventilation, and then finish it off with that little jigsaw attachment on the matrix there. It ain't good for cutting big things, but for finishing off little bits, it's good on that. So I'm going to set up the camera so if I cut my face off while I'm plunge cutting, you can watch it, and maybe I'll get more views. Later. It's a hole. Alright, got the muck out door cut out and hinged. Put a little stopper there so don't go too far. And we got an 8x12 window over on both corners for good ventilation. So I'm going to get some hardware cloth and cover them up. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do for a roof. Hey, just an example of why I never throw anything away. Found a couple of these in my scrap bin, and two of them together go perfectly like that. And you take yourself two pieces of plywood, and that fits right in there nice, and that'll be the chicken landing. And the screw holes actually line up on these two, so awesome. Alright, I got just about everything done but the roof. Had the door part left open from the Carbonics. I used the opener on my existing door, so I just got to put a string on this guy. And we got our door gate. We got our little chicky diving board and ramp. Ramp doesn't go all the way to the ground because I've never seen the chickens start at the ground once. So that should be good enough. We got our hardware cloth on the windows. We got our lock and our inside. Probably got to put a roosting bar in here, so I guess that'll be coming up, but that's easy enough. And so basically all that's left is doing a roof of some sort. So everything else is pretty much done. Alright, so I just built this gate, which is 6 feet by 5 feet. Came out of this kit here. It was 110 bucks. Basically did the math. It was about 20 bucks more if I had to buy the gate instead of building one from pieces that I would have to buy from Lowe's. And I just discovered that this gate is long enough to connect to the side of the coop and still hit this post. If it's a bit shorter, I'll drive another freaking post, because I was planning on burying a 4x4, so that's a pain in the ass. So basically I'll lose about a foot of chicken run, but I'm cool with that. So I'm gonna beef up those 2x4s with basically another 2x4 screwed into it, and put in them hinge screws, and we'll have some gate action here. And I just gotta, along this line here, do a bit of shoveling and level it out, but no big deal. Easier than digging a hole probably. If not, then I'll dig a hole. Say goodbye, buds. Bud. Say night night. Later. Howdy, Friday morning progress report on the second coop project here for the youngins, who may be coming out this weekend actually, because they're all kind of stuffed in a little 50-gallon tote and they're getting big. So got the gate installed, just finished doing that. I beefed up the legs with an additional 2x4, so it'll hold the weight there without too much problem. One of them's going through the coop, beefed that up as well. Everything else I think I showed you yesterday. We got the windows, we got the door, we got the muck out door, got all my tools hiding in there. And also last night after the chickens went to bed, I went ahead and I cut in the chicken run so they can come over here and see the chickens. Hey, just another short progress update here. Gate is on. Went to Lowe's, got enough wood so I can frame out the roof here. Got this side chicken wired in and connected to the fence. So pretty much all I'm going to do is put this roof on and then do the top roofing, which is a bit of a pain. Hey, look. So this is what I'm going to use for the roof. It's 10 foot long by about 2.5 foot wide. Cut it in half, flip it so I can get the ridges over the ridges, and tack it to the roof. This is just going to be dead space underneath the roof. No real need to fill it in with anything, and if anything, it'll be a little bit of storage, slightly sheltered. So back in a bit. Alright, Friday, 5 o'clock. We got a gate, we got a roof. What's left to do is essentially all the top screening in, which is a pain in the ass. Don't know if you'll be able to see my roof. It is not pretty, but it'll keep the heat off the top of the coop and deflect the rain down, so the plywood will stay dry. I think this open air design is actually going to work better for cooling than putting the roof directly on. There won't be any heat transfer from that metal. So it's ugly, but it's on, and you got to be 7 foot tall to see how ugly it is. So we won't worry too much about that. And so got to skin this little bit over here, and then make a roof on the coop, or screen the roof. You know what the freak I mean. I'm hot and I'm tired. All right, puppy, and I'll be back in a bit. Alrighty, got the first section of chicken wire thrown over the top of the coop, or over the top of the run here. This thing will be completely encased like my other run is by the time I'm done with it. I'm using 6-foot wide chicken wire, which does make this a bit easier. And I just want to show you one of the mistakes that I made when I first started doing this last year was I would use hog rings and J-clips and stuff to connect the chicken wire to the fence. You don't need any of that. Basically just take it, wrap it, twist it around, tie it any way you can. That's not going to come undone. Doesn't have to look pretty. The only place where you may need J-clips is where you have a section like this that you cannot tie. Then you might want to J-clip that in. I doubt anything's going to squeeze in there anyways. And when you're connecting basically two flat pieces of fence, like this piece here, once it connects to the next string I'm running over here, I'm going to need J-clips there. But for tying to the fence, just wrap it around. It will stay and it'll be just as strong as those J-clips. Alrighty, I'll be back in a bit. Just wanted to show you my little method that I use to make this a bit easier here. Basically, put the chicken wire on this makeshift table here, rolled it out over the existing fence, and then stretched it out. Basically, I rolled out about 10 feet and then lifted it over, but any little tricks like this to make it roll a bit easier will help, because chicken wire will catch on everything. Doesn't matter what it is, it will catch on it. But progress continues. Back in a bit. Hey, it's still Friday, about 7:20 p.m. Getting dark out here. I'm starting to have the roof skinned in on the coop. Got the gate fenced over. Managed to do it with just 2 6-foot wide runs. I'm starting to do a little bit of ground level security here to keep the diggers from digging underneath. Probably do the same sandwich thing over on this side here. And I think tomorrow we're going to let the little chickies out here because they're getting too big for their little tub, and this thing's just about done. A little bit of, neatening up to do. Got to finish twisting some of this fence together, but it's coming along. And the other chickies like their little 6-foot edition. They're happy with that. Pretty soon, all the chickies will be sharing one massive coop once the noobs get old enough not to get beat up by these guys. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. And I might post this one, or I might just keep on adding to it. Y'all take care. I'll let the other chickies have a little test drive here before we bring in the newbies.